Hello and welcome back to another grammar lesson with Sunshine School. Today we're going to be talking about the future tense and the various different ways we can talk about things in the future. So, if you're ready, let's go. There are 4 future tenses in English: future simple, future continuous, future perfect continuous, and future perfect simple. There are also other ways we can refer to things in the future. For example, using going to. Let's explore these in depth. First, let's look at future simple using will. We can use this to talk about things we are not sure about or we haven't decided yet. For example, perhaps Dad will lend me the car. We're not sure about that yet. We can also use going to. We can use this to talk about things we are sure about or we have already decided to do in the near future. I'm going to buy a new car. I've decided to do this already. We can use the future simple, will, to express hopes, fears, threats, on-the-spot decisions, offers, promises, warnings, predictions, or comments, especially with expect, hope, believe, I'm afraid, I'm sure, I know, I think, probably. So let's try an example. It's getting dark. I'll turn on the light. This is an on-the-spot decision. We can use going to express intentions and plans. Now that they have settled in their new house, they are going to have a party. We can use will to make a prediction based on what we think or imagine. For example, I think you will pass the test. We can use it to talk about actions which will definitely happen in the future and which we cannot control. He will be 12 next year. We can use going to make a prediction based on what we can see or what we know, especially when there is evidence. For example, it's going to rain. I can make this prediction based on the dark clouds in the sky. So let's look at the structure of these sentences. Using future simple, will, to make a positive statement, we use a subject, will, and a verb. I will buy. To make a negative statement, we use a subject, won't, and a verb. I won't buy. To make a question, we use will, a subject, and a verb. Will you buy? Let's look at going to. To make a positive statement, we use a subject, am or is or are, going to, and a verb. I am going to buy. He is going to buy. They are going to buy. To make a negative statement, we use a subject, am not, isn't, or aren't, going to, and a verb. I am not going to buy. He isn't going to buy. They aren't going to buy. To make a question, we use am, is, or are, a subject, going to, and a verb. Am I going to buy? Is he going to buy? Are they going to buy? Let's look at future continuous next. We can use this for an action which will be in progress at a stated time in the future. For example, I will be playing hockey at 11 o'clock next Tuesday. We can use this for an action which will definitely happen in the future as the result of a routine or an arrangement. I will be going for my dental appointment tomorrow. Another example, you can find Miss Sue in her office tomorrow morning, but she will be breaking for lunch at 1 p.m. Let's look at the structure for future continuous. To make a positive statement, we use a subject, will be, and the verb plus ing. She will be sleeping. To make a negative statement, we use a subject, won't be, and the verb plus ing. She won't be sleeping. To make a question, we use will, a subject, be, and the verb plus ing. Will she be sleeping? Watch out. With offers and suggestions in the question form, we do not use will with I and we. We use shall. For example, we do not say, will I help you with your physics homework? We use, shall I help you with your physics homework? This is an offer. Now let's look at future perfect and future perfect continuous. First, for future perfect, we can use this to talk about actions which will be completed sometime between now and a point in the future. For example, she will have come back by the end of July. To form this, we use a subject, will or won't, have, and the past participle. Next, for future perfect continuous, we can use this to talk about actions in progress up to a point in the future. For example, by the end of this year, Sally will have been working here for 2 years. We can form this with a subject, will or won't, have been, and the verb plus ing. Remember, by a certain time or not until a certain time are used with the future perfect. Until or till are normally used with the future perfect only in negative sentences. For example, she will have finished by 6 o'clock. We would not say, she will have finished until 6 o'clock. But we can say, she won't have finished until 6 o'clock. Here are some words commonly used with certain tenses. For future simple, will, going to, and future continuous. Some common words include tomorrow, tonight, next week or month, in 2 or 3 days, the day after tomorrow, soon, in a week or a month. For future perfect, some common phrases include before, by then, by the time, until, but remember only in negative sentences. For future perfect continuous, we often use by and for. For example, by the end of the month, she will have been working here for 30 years. We can also use present simple and present continuous to talk about things in the future. This can be a little bit confusing. So let's look at some examples. We can use present simple for timetables or programs. Our plane leaves at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. We can use present continuous to talk about arrangements made before the moment of speaking. Sally is seeing her dentist tomorrow afternoon. This means Sally has already made an appointment. Be careful. We never use future forms after when, if it is a time conjunction, while, before, until, by the time, if, as soon as, or after. However, we can use when or if and will if when is a question word, or if means whether. Let's look at some examples. She'll send us a letter when she has time. When is the time conjunction, so we are not using the future form. But when will he meet us? When is in a question, so we can use the future form will. I don't know if he will accept. If is referring to whether, so we can use the future form will. With go and come, we use present continuous rather than be going to. For example, she's going to London next week, rather than she's going to go to London next week. It's time to check our knowledge with some practice questions. So, pause the video, take your time, and then we'll go through the answers. If you're ready, let's give it a try. Number 1. I expect we will be there in half an hour. The key word here is expect. This is a prediction, so we use will, the future simple. Number 2. I am going to see the Picasso exhibition at the National Gallery tomorrow. This is a plan in the future, so we use the continuous form of the verb go. Number 3. Andrew will be 13 years old on September the 3rd. So this is something that we cannot change in the future, so we use future simple. Andrew will be 13 years old. Number 4. He will have flown to Frankfurt by the time I arrive in London. The key words here are by the time. We use will have flown because this action will have been completed by a specific point in the future. This is future perfect. Number 5. This time next week, I will be flying to Jamaica. Here, we use future continuous because something will be happening at a stated time in the future. Number 6. It's really cold today. I think it will snow. This is a prediction. The key words here are I think, so we use future simple. Number 7. This time tomorrow, Barry will have been rowing across the Pacific for exactly 3 months. The key words here are this time tomorrow. This is an action that will have been completed by a specified time in the future. So we use future perfect continuous. Number 8. I'm sure we will win the match tomorrow. This is a prediction. We use future simple. So thank you very much for joining us with this lesson. Please make sure to check back again for another grammar lesson. And if you have any comments or questions, leave them down below.